Hey, thanks for joining us, everybody. This is going to be a video talking about some of the 7 players who will be at Masters Series, Canada Cup Gaming's Masters Series, this coming weekend in Calgary, Alberta, Canada.
Yeah, this is an event that's been years in the making. It's going to be really exciting, actually, because they're taking 7 players plus an 8th player who will qualify that weekend in the Open Tournament beforehand. But all of these players will be going up against each other in a round-robin, first to 7 matchup, and the winner of that is walking away with a pretty big prize.
That's true.
Yeah.
So it's something to really look forward to. All of the players who are going to be there are very much of note. So a few different ways to have been invited to this. One of the ways is to have won one of the previous Canada Cups.
That's right.
It's been going since 2010. As well, the winner of Wednesday Night Fight Season 3 is there, and the EVO 2014 champion is also there.
Yeah, just got an invite.
Pretty good.
He kind of deserves it, yeah.
Pretty good reason. So the list of players is Daigo, Kazunoko, Luffy, Pepe Dai, Snake Eyes, Shen, and Xiao Hai.
That's right. And so in this particular video, we're going to be talking about said champion of EVO, which is Luffy.
Yeah, that's right. So Luffy won in obviously 2014. Extremely strong player. I think that he was, I should say now at this point, the best player of 2014. Most consistent. He of course he won EVO. He won a lot of things in Europe, almost all of the majors that they had there, and then most recently at Capcom Cup.
Yeah, previous to Capcom Cup, he hadn't lost to except like 2 people, total.
2 or 3 people in.
It was like Valmaster and Shin were the only people who had ever beat him, you know, that year. And then finally in Capcom Cup, obviously he lost to a couple of guys there. But
top 3 still.
Yeah.
So anyway, a very strong year for him. You know, he just has a great lots of things. I feel like the thing that I'm most impressed by him is his just sort of stick-to-itiveness. Like, he doesn't get caught off of his game. He has a game plan. And he's very good at executing it, and he's great with the spacing and the mix-ups of it, but he very much has like a plan in mind. And it's really tough to get him off of his game.
Yeah, and again, he's been playing Rose forever. He knows this character in and out. And yeah, she's definitely gotten much stronger here in Ultra.
Yeah.
But, I mean, to say that that's why he's succeeding now is completely irrelevant. Because he's been beating characters much better than Rose in previous, versions and such. So really, I mean, he's been an amazing player this whole entire time. He's been dominating the Europe scene for a very long time.
Right.
And yeah, again, like you said, it's just he knows what he wants to do with this character. He's so familiar with this character that it's
very well planned.
It's just one of those situations because he's been using this character for 5-6 years now or whatever, and there's no situation you can put him in where he's going to be confused. Like, what do I do with Rose in this situation?
Sure.
He's been through it all, and that's kind of one of the reasons why it's so hard to throw him off of his game plan.
Right. Not many of the people who are going to be in here have been playing the same character at that high of a level in Street Fighter 4 for that long. I think that's a little bit of an advantage. I think you're right to bring that up. So let's talk about some of the players who he's going to be playing against.
Yeah, again, this is round robin, so you're going to be playing against every single one of them. We know who the 6 of the opponents are already. So yeah, let's go.
So let's talk about Daigo.
Yeah.
All right, let's just go alphabetically, I guess. Sure. So Daigo, the last time they played was DreamHack Winter of 2013.
Okay, so
this is a little while ago. It was a little while ago. And that's not to say that we should ignore that, but since then, we mentioned this past year, 2014, was really Luffy's year.
Yes.
He got so much better. His character got better as well. Daigo is using a new character for himself, an evil Ryu. Maybe he's back to Ryu. We're not sure. So I would say that there's more sort of certainty and success of late on Luffy's side.
Yes.
But Daigo is a player that you can never count out, especially in this kind of a first to 7 long set kind of thing.
I mean, I would expect Daigo probably to stick with Evil Ryu because he can do more damage, and a fireball game might not be as effective against Rose because obviously he could reflect, absorb, go through it with EX Spiral, whatever. So when he gets in, he's going to want to do the damage that he can. So I imagine he would go with Evil Ryu. Again, we don't know, but I don't know. Like, Daigo was great in long sets, but Luffy, I just feel like is a really strong enough player that, like I said, he's just not going to get thrown off his game too much. I don't know if there's anything Daigo can necessarily do that will surprise him in this matchup. So I don't know. I think this will probably be one of Daigo's harder matchups.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
I think you're right. Yeah, I don't see any reason for 2015 to not be the year of Luffy. It just seems like he has too much momentum coming in. Luffy's also playing against Kazunoko. As far as I know, they have not played in the past. Not that I tried finding it online, couldn't find it. But we would expect Rose versus Yun to happen. Kazunoko has a great style with Yun. Look, Yun is not as easy to play as people like to say. Okay?
Like the people think he's a free win. And
he's definitely not. He's definitely not. So you're sort of forced into an interesting game plan with Yun that against a character who is as solid as Rose, I'm not sure if that works out, but at the same time, he certainly has tools to get around fireball games. He has good enough movement options to stay away from anti-air. So I don't know. I don't know if either of them has sort of that experience against as high a level. Actually, no. Even as I'm saying it, Luffy has beaten Reinhardt Yun. A couple of times in majors this year, so he is going to know that.
Yeah, and again, I mean, one of the things that characterizes Rose as a character is just her slipperiness. Yeah. Very hard to catch her, very hard to lock her down, right? So even when Yun gets close in and starts trying to do his, dive kick or whatever shenanigans, a couple of backdashes, well-placed backdashes, a really nice EX Soul Spiral in the middle of nowhere, standing forward kick.
Forward roundhouse,
yeah, lots of stuff I feel like can really throw Yun off his game, right? So I imagine, Yun really has to take advantage when he gets in close. And Rose is one of the better characters at kind of escaping the situation despite not having an actual uppercut. Yeah. But I just don't know if that's going to be a problem. Because also, once he gets momentum, knocks her down, Ultra 2, orbs, now all of a sudden your momentum is reset, right? So I feel like Luffy might have an advantage in this match.
Okay, all right, cool. Luffy then plays against Pepe Dai. So Luffy and Pepe Dai played at DreamHack Winter of this most recent year.
Okay.
And Luffy won.
Okay.
3-1.
So this was in
pretty
Ultra.
Recent.
Yeah. Only thing that's changed is 1.04, but both of these characters barely changed.
Nothing major.
Exactly. Yeah. So in this particular situation, I think it's kind of similar to Kazunoko, right? Where Rose can kind of shut down a little bit of the shenanigans from a Fuerte. Now, obviously, Fuerte is not only shenanigans. Now he's much more solid character than before, but again, I just feel like in the same kind of situation, Luffy can remain. If he just remains calm, he should be able to. He should be able to thwart a lot of the rush down from Fuerte.
Interesting to note too is that Pepe Dai thinks that his character loses, that Fuerte loses to Rose.
Oh yeah, okay.
4-6 matchup in his
really?
opinion. Yeah.
Oh, so he might be going into this match already, kind of like, how am I going to handle the situation? Okay,
so let's talk about Luffy versus Snake Eyes.
Now, these guys played each other at EVO.
Yeah, EVO top 8.
And to be honest with you, out of everybody that Luffy played in the top 8, and he came from loser side, so he played way more than everybody else, right? Snake Eyes was his hardest match.
I totally agree. It
was the closest.
It was the closest, yeah. Snake Eyes knows the Rose matchup very well. Probably the second best Rose in the world is Filipino Man and Snake Eyes, and he play all the time. So that's a matchup that he's going to know. At the same time, Veggie in Europe is a great match for Luffy to train against. So they both knew the match really well. You could see that in their play. And it came down to the wire, very close. So I really think that this could go either way.
Yeah, I can't pick one or the other, but I just remember towards the end of the EVO match, Luffy, especially he picks Ultra 1 most of the time against Zangief, right? Because you can catch him when he jumps with the Ultra 1. It just felt like he started getting a lot more control over the footsies and the spacing. And so, I want to maybe give a slight edge to Luffy just because year of the Luffy and everything like that, but this one's going to be tough. This one's going to be
it's a
brawler.
A little bit different matchup than at the time because Gief has been changed a little bit. Gief can no longer easily punish Rose's sweep. So Before, as long as it wasn't max range sweep, Zangief could punish with LP Green Hand.
Okay.
No longer.
Right.
So that's a little bit different. I mean, at the same time, he can get around fireballs a little bit more easily, but that doesn't really come up that much. It's mostly a buttons match.
Right, but here's a good thought, right? If you happen to catch Rose sliding with an EX green hand,
Yeah.
you can stand her up now.
You're right.
Now you're not going to be sliding.
That's not going to come up very
randomly.
often.
So it's just
so
not gonna-
I feel like that matchup was basically even in the previous patch.
And it feels
Now,
that way. Still,
well, I would
think.
say now it's very slight advantage Rose.
Oh, really?
Not
okay.
that big a deal. Certainly doable, but I would say it's a little worse a little bit better for Luffy.
Okay.
Okay. Let's talk about Luffy versus Shen.
Yes.
So Shen, they played at Capcom Cup. Shen won 2-1 with Gen.
Mm-hmm.
Mentioned also at Evo that he and Luffy played, and Shen was the only person at Evo to beat Luffy. He sent Luffy to losers bracket.
That's right. And this is going to be interesting because at Capcom Cup, we noted this while we were watching it live at the time that Shen was winning by punishing Rose's slide.
Right.
He would whiff the slide, and then there'd be a low strong hand, super, ultra, right?
Yeah.
Super's gotten its damage back.
Oh, you're right.
So Gen is actually going to do more damage now with the 1.04 patch. So I don't know if that's going to come up a lot. Maybe Luffy will watch that match again and go like, I did get punished on my slide a lot, and now he's going to be more careful on the slide.
I would think so.
So I don't know. Like, given history, I'll give it to Shen, and especially since Gen got that little damage buff there.
Right.
I don't. First to 7 again. Who knows what's going to happen in this situation? So.
Well, Shen's proven it in the past, so I mean, we'll see. Then Luffy, last player we know he'll play against is Xiao Hai.
Yeah.
As far as I know, they have not played in the past.
Okay.
But we expect it to be Rose against, Evil Ryu or Yun or Cammy.
Yeah. Look, we're going to be saying this a lot. Xiao Hai is a wild card in this one because he is a very momentum-heavy player, and his characters are very momentum-based, right? And in first to 7, those kind of characters can either make you or break you.
Oh, yeah.
So, again, Rose, just such a solid character. Great defense, momentum-killing Ultra 2s, backdashes, and such like that. So, in this particular situation, like Kazunoko, like Peppadai, I think that Luffy probably... I would give Luffy the edge a little bit in this matchup.
I think I agree with that.
Yeah? Cool.
I think I do, yeah. I guess I would expect Cammy of those, but we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Again, Xiao Hai is going to be the biggest question mark, in my opinion, in this whole tournament.
I absolutely agree with that. We haven't seen him play Cammy lately. His most recent tournament, he played Evil Ryu. So,
but he obviously has skills with multiple characters. We've seen him go through all sorts of characters, and so I'm going to be really curious to see what his character choices are. He has a lot of weapons.
Yes, he does.
In his armada, basically. So, yeah.
Luffy's going with Rose. And, he just feels so solid to me.
Exactly.
I think that he's one of the big ones. He's had such a successful last year. The names that he has beaten have been ridiculous.
Yeah.
Just about everybody.
Yeah.
Except for Shen. But just about everybody.
Yep.
So I do think that he's going to be one of the favorites here.
Yeah, and it's going to be going all weekend long. 2 days, I believe, of just like full first to 7s, round robin, whole thing. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Again, big prizes. So definitely check that out. It's going to be twitch.tv/Canada Cup this coming weekend. So
it'll be in Calgary. If you happen to be in Western Canada, I really suggest that you make it out. It's going to be quite a venue, too. We saw a picture of the venue. It'll be really interesting. Speaking of which, by the way, Luffy did so well at Capcom Cup. I have to think that he was not affected by the fact that was in such a fancy location. He seemed perfectly fine. So I feel like he's going to be exactly in that state of mind again.
Yeah, we talked about if you had to pick favorites, Luffy's got to be up there somewhere.
For sure, he's up there.
For sure.
Okay,
it'd be a great way to start 2015 to say like this is also the year of Luffy.
Exactly right. All right, thanks a lot, and we will see you in Calgary.